Hi, okay, so this is more practice for my fractions series. So we are going to go through all of the problems that you see here. You can pause if you want to read them over, but we're basically multiplying or dividing fractions where you need to simplify first. And also, we're going to go through all these problems that have to do with adding or subtracting fractions with different denominators like you see here. So this video specifically continues extra practice exercises that accompany a review video on the same topic. So if you want to see a review of how to do these problems first, you can check the description for a link to the review video. By the way, you can also get a free PDF and an answer key to all these problems at my website, divideandconquermath.com. Just go to the review section and you can find all sorts of good stuff for free. Okay, so I strongly recommend that you try these before I show you the solution. You can always pause the video and go through these. And like I said, I do have the free answer key so you can see which ones you actually want to see. But otherwise, I'm just going to jump right into this. Okay, so starting with A. So remember we talked about in the other video that you want to divide by whatever numbers that kind of pop out to you. So between the 15 and the 35, I noticed that those are both divisible by 5. And then between the 27 and the 36, I noticed that both of those are divisible by 9. So now I can rewrite these as 3 over 4 times 3 over 7. And so now if I multiply straight across, I get 9 over 28. Moving on to B, so let's see. Between 28 and 35, what pops out to me is that those are both divisible by 7. And then between 16 and 32, so I noticed that those are actually both divisible by 16. If you saw a different number, that's totally fine. You just have to simplify at the end. So these fractions then become 1 over 5 times 4 over 2. So I get 4 over 10 if I multiply straight across. And so then that will simplify to 2 over 5. So like we talked about in the other video, if you divide by a different number, that's all good. You just will end up having to simplify at the end, which I had to do anyways. Okay, so for division, we want to make sure that before we do any simplifying, that the first thing we do is flip the second fraction, and then we can go ahead and simplify. So now I noticed between 14 and 6, these are both divisible by 2. And between 10 and 15, these are both divisible by 5. So this will become 7 over 3 times 2 over 3. So this equals 14 over 9. We'll do the same thing for D. So I will flip that second fraction. And then I will simplify. So between 21 and 49, those are both divisible by 7. And then let's see, between 24 and 50, well, the only thing that jumps out to me is that they're both divisible by 2. So, you know, you don't have to think too long about this. Like you can always simplify again if you want to. So I usually just start with the first number that jumps out at me. So 21 divided by 7 is 3, 24 divided by 2 is 12, 50 divided by 2 is 25, and 49 divided by 7 is 7. So let's see. So then that's going to equal 75 over, let's see, 84. And for that, I can actually divide the top and bottom by 3 to get 25 over 28. Now, you may have gone a different direction with this. The one thing I want to point out with this, so 3 over 12, this actually could have been rewritten as 1 over 4. And so then if you rewrote this as 1 over 4, then you would have just ended up with 25 over 28. So that's why I keep saying with a lot of these, like there's several ways that you could go. And so you might still have to simplify at the end. So just things to watch out for. Okay, so moving on to E here. So I've got 12 times 5/10. Well, I know that 12 is over an invisible 1. And I also notice, so 12 and 10 are both divisible by 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and divide those both by 2 so that this becomes 6 over 1 times 5 over 5. And so 5 over 5 is actually just 1. So this whole thing just equals 6. So next up I have 24 divided by 26, or 24 over 26 divided by 16. So remember that 16 is over a 1. So I will first rewrite this as 24 over 26 times 1 over 16. And then I notice that 24 and 16 are both divisible by 8. So 24 divided by 8 is 3. We leave the 26 alone. And then this is going to become 1 over 2. So if I multiply these together, I get 3 over 52. Okay, so up next, I have 15 over 16 divided by 25 over 28. So I will rewrite that as 15 over 16 times 28 over 25. I can divide the 15 and the 25 by 5. And let's see, I can divide 16 and 28 by 4. So this will become 3 over 4 times 7 over 5. So that'll equal 21 over 20. And the last one we have in this set, so let's see, this is 18 over 30 times 35 over 21. We'll first rewrite that. Now, it's totally possible, and I think I'll go this route just to show you guys. So 18 over 30, I noticed that this can actually be divided by, let's see, what is it, by 3? So I can actually just go ahead and go this route too, so that this would become 6 over 10. Oh, actually, this is divisible by 6, isn't it? Let's do that instead. Let's divide by 6, divide by 6. So this would become 3 over 5. And then I've still got this times 35 over 21. So you can go a couple routes with like how you simplify. So you can simplify within the fractions just to show you that. And then I'll notice, so 5 and 35. So let's see, I can divide those both by 5, and with 3 and 21, I can divide those by 3 as well. Now, if you didn't notice that and you went a different route, that's all good. I just wanted to show you guys like there's more than one way to do this. So let's see, this first fraction will just turn into 1 over 1. And then 35 divided by 5 is 7. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So ironically, this whole thing just equals 1 because 7 over 7 just equals 1. Okay, so we are partway through this video. If you are finding this helpful, I would love it if you'd hit that like button or the subscribe button and tell your friends about this free content that they can get. So next we're going to move into this superset on adding and subtracting all the fractions. My brain is going to have steam coming out of it when we're done. Okay, so you might remember in the review video where we started with a whole number and a fraction just to kind of get us warmed up for this skill. So in this situation, we just want to refer to the fractions denominator. This is the LCD that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that whole number, I'm going to write it over 1, and then I just multiply by that desired LCD. So this 4 becomes into a 24 over 6, and what is 24 divided by 6? It does equal 4. So now I can subtract off the 5 over 6, and this becomes 19 over 6. Now, just for added practice, I decided that we will also convert the improper fractions in this set to mixed numbers. So how many times, so let's see, we can just quickly review that. So 6 goes into 19 3 times. 3 times 6 is 18, so I can subtract that off. So if I want to write this as a mixed number, it's this number is the whole number, and then it's the remainder over the divisor. So this would be 3 and 1/6. Okay, so I'll get rid of all that. All right, so let's move on to part B here. So what we talked about in the video is, so for 10 and 15, you want to think of what's the largest number that divides both of these. So that would be 5 in this case. So 10 can be written as 5 times 2, and 15 can be written as 5 times 3. So my LCD is that thing that they have in common, the 5. And then it's the two numbers that they don't have in common, so the 2 and the 3. So if I multiply those together, my LCD will be 30. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to rewrite each fraction with that desired denominator. So what do I have to multiply 10 by to get to 30? I need to multiply it by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So this 7 over 10 will become 21 over 30. And then I do the same thing for 4 over 15. So what do I have to multiply 15 by to get to 30? I have to multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So then I can just multiply these together to get 8 over 30. So now I can rewrite this expression here as, as 21 over 30 plus 8 over 30, and my final answer will be 29 over 30. Okay, so moving on to part C. So between 8 and 12, let's see, the largest number that divides into both of these will be 4. So 8 is written as 4 times 2, and 12 is written as 4 times 3. So my LCD in this case will be the number that they share in common, that 4, and then the numbers that they don't have in common, so 2 times 3. So my LCD in this case is going to be 24. Okay, so now I have to write my equivalent fractions. So what do I multiply 8 by to get to the LCD of 24? I need to multiply that by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top, so this will become 9 over 24. And then for 5 over 12, so what do I have to multiply 12 by to get to the LCD of 24? I need to multiply by 2, so whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So this becomes 10 over 24. So now I can rewrite this as 9 over 24 plus 10 over 24. 9 plus 10 is 19. Leave the denominator alone. So it's 19 over 24. Okay, so next I have 3 over 14 plus 8 over 21. The largest number that divides into 14 and 21 is 7. So 14 can be written as 7 times 2. 21 can be written as 7 times 3. So my LCD is 7 times 2 times 3. So that's going to equal 42. Okay, so what do I multiply 14 by to get to 42? I need to multiply it by 3. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So this becomes 9 over 42. And then what do I have to multiply 21 by to get 42? I have to multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do the top. So this becomes 16 over 42. And let's see, I'm running out of space here. So I'll try to cram this in and I'll give myself some more space for these other ones. So I have 9 over 42 plus 16 over 42. So this equals 25 over 42. Okay, giving myself some more space for these other ones. Okay, so let's jump into this. I've got 7/18 minus 11/24. So between 18 and 24, what's the largest number that divides into both of them? That would be 6. So 18 is 6 times 3, 24 is 6 times 4. So my LCD will be 6 times 3 times 4. Okay, so now, let's see if I take 7 over 18. What do I multiply 18 by? Oops, and what is 6 times 3 times 4? That is 72. Okay, so 7 over 18. So if you're not sure what to multiply 18 by to get to 72, remember this is also a little bit of a roadmap. So remember, 18 is 6 times 3, so 6 times 3. My LCD is 6 times 3 times 4. So basically, what does the LCD have that this does not have? Whatever that answer is, that's what you need to multiply by. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by 4 in this case. So this is going to be 28 over 72. So that's kind of the cheat sheet if your mental math is not quite working out for you. And then if I use 11 over 24, so same thing. So 24, remember, is 6 times 4. My LCD is 6 times 3 times 4. So what do I need to multiply by? I need to multiply by 3. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by 3. Let's see. So I get 33 over 72. Okay, so I've got my equivalent fractions now. So this is going to be 28 over 72 minus 33 over 72. And that equals negative 5 over 72. Okay, so moving on. So now I've got 5 over 24 minus 5 over 16. So what is the largest number that divides into 24 and 16? Oh, not 4. It'd be 8. My bad. It would be 8. So 24 is 8 times 3, and 16 is 8 times 2. So remember, if you don't choose the largest number, it's not the end of the world. You just give yourself larger numbers to work with, and you'll have to simplify at the end, but it's not the end of the world. But ideally, if you can realize that there's a bigger number, you should choose it. So, okay, my LCD then will be 8 times 3 times 2. So that is 48. So now let's rewrite these fractions as equivalent fractions. So what do I multiply 24 by to get 48? That would be 2. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So this fraction becomes 10 over 48. And for 5 over 16, I need to multiply the top and bottom there by 3 over 3. So this will be 15 over 48. So now I've got 10 over 48 minus 15 over 48. That equals -5 over 48. Okay, so now we've got 7 over 12 plus 5 over 28. So 12 and 28, what is the largest number that goes into both of these? I would say 4. So 12 is 4 times 3, 28 is 4 times 7. So my LCD will be 4 times 3 times 7. So that equals 84. Okay, so then what do I multiply 12 by to get to 84? I need to multiply it by 7. So again, remember, 12 is 4 times 3. My LCD is 4 times 3 times 7. So it's missing this 7 term. So that's a little cheat sheet if you're not sure. So now if I multiply these together, 7 times 7 is 49. 12 times 7 is 84. So we're all good there. And then for 5 over 28, so what do I multiply 28 by to get 84? So remember, 28 is 4 times 7. My LCD is 4 times 3 times 7, so it's the 3 that we need here. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by 3. 15 times 3 is, or 5 times 3 is 15. 28 times 3 is 84. So I've got 49 over 84 plus 15 over 84. That will equal 64 over 84. So this can definitely now be reduced. And so let's see, I can definitely divide the top and bottom by 4. So 64 divided by 4 is 16, and then 84. So if I divide that by 4, it's just going to be 21. So this will equal 16 over 21. Okay, so moving on to H here. So now I've got 63 and 81. So what's the largest number that will divide into 63 and 81? So that is going to be a 9. So 63 is 9 times 7. 81 is 9 times 9. Now these are two separate 9s. So they share a 9, and then they don't share these terms. So for my LCD, here's the 9 they share. Here's the stuff they did not share, okay? So this is going to be a big number. You're going to get your fingers and toes. This LCD is 567. Yuck. Okay, so 5 over 63. So what do I multiply 63 by to get 567? So remember, 63 is 9 times 7. This is the LCD that I want. So what does this have that this doesn't have? That would be a 9. So multiply the top and bottom by 9. 5 times 9 is 45. So this will become 45 over 567. And then 2 over 81. So 81 is 9 times 9. My LCD is 9 times 7 times 9. So I need to multiply the top and bottom by 7 so that I get 14 over 567. And so now I can add these together. So I've got 45 over 567 plus 14 over 567. So that is 59 over 567. Okay, so next we've got 5 over 56 plus 7 over 24. So let's see. The largest number that divides into 56 and 24 is going to be 8. 56 is 8 times 7. 24 is 8 times 3. So my LCD will be 8 times 7 times 3. which is 168. So 5 over 56. So what do I need to multiply 56 by to get 168? So I know 56 is 8 times 7. You can see here I need to multiply by 3. So multiply the top and bottom by 3 to get 15 over 168. 7 over 24. What do I multiply 24 by? That's going to be multiplied by 7. 7 times 7 is 49 over 168. So then I've got 15 over 168 plus 49 over 168. That is 64 over 168. So let's see, the top and bottom are definitely both divisible by 4. So if I divide the top and bottom by 4, so 64 divided by 4 is 16. And let's see, 168 divided by 4 is 42. Oh, we can divide them again. So if I divide them by 2, this will be 8 over 21. So that would be the final answer. Okay, and the best for last. So I've got 5 over 72 plus 7 over 81. The largest number that divides 72 and 81 will be 9. 72 is 9 times 8. 81 is 9 times 9. So this is going to be a big LCD. It's going to be 9 times 8 times 9. So 9 times 8 times 9 is 648. Big number. Okay, so for 5 over 72, in this case, I need to multiply the top and bottom by 9 over 9. Remember, 72 is 9 times 8. The LCD is 9 times 8 times 9, so I need this extra 9 here. So if I multiply those together, I get 45 over 648. And then for 7 over 81, I'm going to multiply this by 8 over 8, so this will be 56 over 648. So 45 over 648 plus 56 over 648 is 101 over 648. So that's kind of it's a wild one, huh? Okay, so just as a friendly reminder, so my fraction series comes with both a review video and then these extra practice videos, and there's 3 videos in the series. So I strongly recommend that you watch all 3 if you hate fractions. That's like a really common thing in math for students to hate fractions. It's like really easy to forget them. So this series is really meant to help you just refresh everything so that maybe you won't hate them so much. And by the way, my review series has many other topics in it. So each topic includes a refresher video, practice problems and answer key, and then an extra video with worked out solutions like you see here in case you don't understand the answer key solution. So all of this is free at divideandconquermath.com. Just go to the review section and you can find everything there for free. Okay guys, so there is definitely steam coming out of my brain. I am done. I'm sure you guys are done as well. Peace.